Hi guys, my name is Caleb and this is Wilfred. Together we are the authors of the book Ascendance, The Road to Being Extraordinary. So in this podcast series, we like to share on how you can use your strengths to become more driven and motivated at work. And today we'll be discussing on the talents, Futuristic and Arranger. And we especially invited Melissa here today. So Melissa is a financial consultant in her firm and she has joined a career after graduating from NUS Applied Math. And ever since then, she has done her MDRTs consistently, right? 2 so far. So she specializes in estate planning for her mass affluent clients. And today she'll share a little bit about how she used her talents to build her business. Yeah, so welcome Melissa to the show.
Thanks. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so maybe we kickstart this session by Wilfred defining what is futuristic.
Alright, so for futuristic, it's a bit different from the other talents that we've been discussing in this podcast, which makes it even more exciting today. For people with high futuristic, like Melissa, she gets energized about plans for the future. She constantly thinks about, well, what's up for me in the next couple of years? What's my roadmap for the future? In fact, you might even have a vision of yourself, of what you want to achieve, even before you embark on something. While other people, for example, who are high in activator is kind of the opposite. They just want to get things done without thinking about what's next. Yeah. So for futuristic, you ask questions to yourself like who I want to be. But sometimes people might view you as the raw version of you would be you're constantly your head's in the clouds because you're always thinking about the future but not solving present problems. Yeah. So I wonder whether that's something that relates to you. So the question I would like to ask you for a very start, for me and Caleb to you, would be, in financial planning, we are constantly always talking to our clients about their plans for the future, right? Future financial freedom, future health problems, which some of the clients might find it like, wow, 那是以后的东西, is like in the future. I can't really relate to that. It's so far away, it won't happen to me now. How do you cope with this phenomenon that our client has when they're too focused on the present? How do you bridge the gap between what they need to do and what they're currently feeling at this point in time?
Yeah, so maybe just a little background story. Like when I was like in primary school, I've already decided what I want to be when I grow up.
Primary school, 7 years old.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, I die want to be a teacher. So like sometimes
Famous last
in
words.
financial, yeah, and I'm here today. So like usually when I plan for our clients also, we already have like a certain kind of planning we want them to go for. But at the same time, we have to be adaptable too. Yeah, so how these two goes hand in hand together is that after knowing that this is what I want for them, but it might not be ultimately what they want for themselves. So we have to take a step back in that, especially for during my first year in financial advisory. It's just like that, like why don't they get it? Yeah, so I think this is what some of the first year advisors face lah. But after gaining more experiences, you learn how to be more empathetic towards like, oh, okay, actually this person is thinking of in this train of
From their
thoughts.
worldview.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
So like when you show them a totally different one, it's like we are not the same. And this creates like lower likability with them. Yeah. So firstly, we have to empathize with what they're thinking of. And yes, they're valid ma.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, we can also let them know some of the successful people out there, how do they plan and stuff like that. So we're like, oh, okay. Then we can challenge them back. So what kind of life do they ultimately want to live? Is it a one where they are, financially responsible son, daughter, or even, parent to their future kids? Or are they someone who just want to do everything in the moment, but then they have so much to lose for in just like maybe 3 to 5 years down the road? Yeah. Especially like, planning for housing, all this is very, very common among people our age, like 20-ish. Yeah, so by taking away money from your future, you have less options for yourself, ma.
In the present.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So that's how I mind shift that. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so you like to use your strength futuristic to help them see what they could potentially be at. And if they see it, that's great. But what if they don't see it and they find it tough to envision that even though you try and paint for them everything, this is how it's going to be like, right? Clients or profile will do this and that. And if they don't see it, how then would you move on or follow up with them?
Yeah, so like I think very commonly is like most of us we just like verbal vomit, but we don't really show them visuals, facts, events that really happen. Yeah, so of course like if people around me they're living their life YOLOing and like still doing good, like then why should I listen to you? That kind of thing. Yeah, so we need to create that kind of visualization for them. And sometimes maybe it's just a phase of life. It isn't at a point where they're like, I want to think so much yet. We all have that moment.
Yep.
So we have to be patient with them as well. And also have to follow up with them in a sense where beyond an FA, what kind of friend are you to them? Yeah, because it's not about what we tell them, but it's about how we make them feel. And usually if we can, make them feel that we really, really care for them, then definitely our words hold more credibility and power in influencing them in the right direction.
So what I hear from you is that you are, I think part of a very important skill that the FA needs to have is to bring the future pain and consequence to the present, right? And if somehow or another they're not in the right stage of life right now, we need to keep them in our network and our system, so that as their life progresses, their people around them change, their environment changes, we are there again in front of them, where they're more receptive to accept the problem to solve for the future, right? So what are some things you do to actually keep these clients and prospects in your system? And I think you're doing this because you see this game as a very long game in FA, right?
Yeah.
As a futuristic person. So what are some things you do to keep this game prolonged and keeping them in your network as your assets?
Yeah, so I always ask this question to myself. Do I really care for this person like a friend? Like not just a client? Because typically most of my clients, like 99%, that I acquire in a sense, they are people I really, really care for. Yeah, so naturally, instinctively, it's like I will reach out to them and I'll be happy to be part of their milestones. No, not necessarily financial milestones, but I just want to be there for them as a friend. And that's also how why I tell them that, you know what, I can't be working with everyone here. Yeah, because there's always a upper limit to how many clients I will want to protect and have. So after I reach that number, the rest is it's not like I will not serve them at all, but I have a lot,
Because serve everybody
capacity,
essentially.
correct. Yeah, so I want to maintain that level of like energy with my existing clients and part of my future clients as well. Yeah, so my magic number is 365.
Clients?
One person a day.
Wow.
Yeah, so I have enough for one person a day at least.
Wow.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
And to have quality time together.
You want this 365 from the very start already? We're aiming for that, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Okay.
yeah, it's okay. Sounds like a nice number anyway.
So that's for your client side, where in your advisory business, you plan to be that. But what about your personal development, in a sense where you as a person, you are generally futuristic. And as what Wilfred mentioned just now, you may live in the future more than live in the moment.
Correct.
So how do you bridge that gap?
Correct.
Where you have big dreams, but day to day, your actions may not match up to that. So how do you manage that?
Yeah, so it's a very good question. Yeah, and because someone who is very futuristic, we tend to be like, okay, what's the next problem? Maybe in the 5 to 10 years time, or maybe 20 years time that my clients will be most likely facing. And maybe if I just nice meet this person who is already in like their 40s or 50s, right? Like it's like my friend time travel, that kind. like what are the problems they are facing today? Yeah, so because I am not there yet, in terms of my literal age, right? There certainly has to be a sense of competency being built up
Yeah.
Because for sure I don't have the experience of a 50 and 40
Life
year old.
experience.
Yeah, correct.
Mm.
Yeah, so I go for a lot of courses. Yeah,
Mm.
and I network with people around that age. Because for the courses I go, usually they're in their 40s, 50s.
Yeah.
And I think they know their problems best and the people
Mm.
around them. So I collect stories from them.
Collect
Yeah.
stories.
Correct. Yeah, so that's how I can better relate with like my clients and my clients who are in their 40s, 50s, and my current clients who are still in their 20s, but not there yet. Yeah. So it's a bit of like being always up to date and upscaling myself.
Mm.
So I'll be at the top of my game lah. And the things I say will have more substance.
Mm.
The fact that you're going for courses and everything, I think what we observe is that you are picturing and projecting your future self. But you know that eventually you need to understand this market, right? But what you want to do is to understand in advance.
Yeah.
That's how you bridge the gap between who you want to be and who you are now. Ma. Yeah, I think it reminds me of this quote. You are aiming for people with high futuristic. I think it would be a perfect position like Mel to be far enough to inspire and close enough to relate. Yeah. So by inspiring them with your future visions, but at the same time being empathetic enough to understand what they're going through right now. I think that's how you've been getting your clients and even pre-retirees who are way older than you. Yeah, because you're able to understand them, but at the same time, be relatable enough to show them that you understand the problems they're going through. So that's inspirational.
Yeah, so to summarize what Melissa mentioned, I think generally from what I hear is she's been very patient throughout her process, because sometimes by communicating the future to someone, the problems, the consequence, people may or may not see it. I mean, if they see it, they will have gotten the solutions in the first place. But the fact is, when we prospect somebody, they obviously see a little bit of that, but it's not urgent enough to take the action. And seems to me that Melissa has been very patient to build that out for herself. And like what you mentioned, she goes for courses so that she can consistently upskill, so that she can serve that market. And she has already projected her own future for herself. And she's taking that into today. What can I do to get there? Yeah. So do you have any advice for someone who's listening that has futuristic talent?
I would say, while in the short term, like there might not be the results we see as compared to our friends who are like activators, they're very fast and they just go straight to the game. Like, we are here to build a very strong foundation of knowledge for ourselves. Yeah, and this will inspire the people around us, like in terms of competency. And that's what actually why most parents decided to work with me, even though they already have existing advisors. Because I'm able to portray a side where I actually know a little bit more than you do. Yeah. But at the same time, we have to be humble and know when to, let these people say their piece first, instead of being so excited to like, hey, you can do this and that. But we have to listen first before we can give better recommendations and advice.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. Yeah, maybe now we move on to the next talent, which is arranger.
Right. So for arranger, for people with high arranger, you get energized by sorting out your tasks. If you have 10 tasks to do, you get overwhelmed. What you like doing is sitting down and you look forward to be like, okay, I want to prioritize this as number one, and this is not the priority that I should be doing now. And once you arrange your tasks in priority, right, you get energized to take action immediately. Yeah. So for people with high arranger, in a way, it's like OCD.
Yes.
Like when things are all over the place, right, I get very annoyed. Then you sit down and arrange stuff. So you'll be a good this might reflect in your house eventually when you get your own as well. Yeah, the way you sort things out to find things that you want immediately whenever you want. Yeah.
Organized mess.
Yes. Oh yeah, organized mess. So this mess only you will understand how to sort out. No one else will. So you better communicate to your husband next time.
Okay.
So for you, right, in advisory, there's so many projects, tasks to pursue. Maybe you can share with the listeners here, how do you organize your tasks in the most effective way to pursue the things that are urgent and important, and the things that are not urgent but important? How do you organize that on a day-to-day basis or week-to-week basis?
Yeah. So I think one of the not so good thing about being an arranger is when you see 10 tasks, you see it as, oh my god. Yeah, then the inertia to start doing is a lot higher and stronger. But you really just have to sit down, take your pen and iPad, whatever it is, just list it down and break it down so you can dissect these things. And you can even categorize if you can. Like for example, I have to talk to client A and B. Like the proposal is around the same cause they are in the same phase of life. Yeah. So you can just do both together because the next one is just copy paste-ish. Yeah. Then you just edit depending on their own profile. Yeah. And best thing is you have to have a macro deck for yourself. So in future when you meet fresh grads, right, just use the same thing. Yeah, but of course update it lah, because things change along the way. Yeah, so that's how I break down things. Yeah, and I feel good when I can strike it off. And I want to see that I finish. So I actually send my task to Wilfred on almost a daily basis. Yeah, like Monday to Sunday-ish. Then actually I just want to like delete and then like the list will be blank, right? But then I will like, actually did I do anything? I'll forget ma. So I'll put a done column below. So I'm like, okay, I got do so many things. Yeah. So it creates a feel good factor about yourself whenever you strike one thing off the list. And as much as they say you start with the hardest task first, so later you have an easier time. But at the beginning, right, I will start with the easiest task
Low-hanging
first.
fruits first.
Correct. Because it builds your confidence to get
And
through the
momentum
day.
lah.
Imagine you do one hard task. Then you still have 9 easy ones. Then you're like, tired already. Yeah. So my morning and night, you need to know yourself. Lor. Morning, night is the most productive for myself. So morning I do the very easy one. Then in the afternoon, food coma already. So do the more thinking works. Yeah. So you keep your brain active. Then you won't fall asleep. Yeah. Then at night, I'm still a deep thinker at night, so I balance my afternoon and night tasks.
She even structure her entire day in segments.
Organize,
Categories,
categorizing helps.
Okay, so I'm sure when we talk about a ranger, everything in your mind is already like categorized as segments and everything. So it also seems that likely you will have a strong system for your business, which means do you find yourself creating more systems so that you can be more effective? And how do you balance having too many systems then?
Yeah, so although I'm organized, I might not be the most systemized person. Like my things are in an organized mess. So as much I want to create files and store everything, like okay, when I go to this file, I see, all the cash flows. I see all the proposal decks. But I don't. It's like I memorized it. So I just command spacebar and I search the name.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's I don't know, it's already drained in my head. So I think you need to know what works the best for you. Because the inertia of me like creating all these files, right, is too huge. So I go to what I'm familiar with. But yeah, I do understand it would be good to have that kind of system. So there's always pros and cons. And what helped me this year greatly was having 2 PAs. Yeah, so they have their own strength. So I play it to their own strength. Yeah, so I can maximize my efficiency as much as possible. Yeah. So one girl, she's very good at like marketing, all those designing. So I'll just leave all those to her. Then the other one, she's more of a client-facing role. So when we create systems, right, and we are putting people into our systems, we need to know what's their strength. Yeah. And we play it to that. And for me, I prefer leveraging on people's strength. So, yeah. Hello.
So you're clear to dissect what are things that you yourself only you can do. But and then you said learn to let go. Was it you who said that just now?
Oh yeah. Earlier.
And you let go of tasks, even though you know you can do it, right? Because of you have so many tasks to do every day. So you split those that other people can do, even though might not be as well as you let go of that responsibility. Let them just get it done, and done is better than perfect.
Yeah.
So and that's how you get your tasks, and you stay efficient even though your clientele base keeps growing year after year. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Okay, so to summarize whatever Melissa mentioned, a ranger, she's someone that she mentioned one thing that struck to me. She mentioned that sometimes you have too many things on the list, and I think generally as a consultants, we have a lot of things to do, right? Proposal deck, this, that, training, and personal development, everything.
Yeah.
So she mentioned to use a pen and paper, iPad, write everything down so that you can rank them in the order of priority. And for Melissa, her style is to strike out the easier tasks first so that she can build momentum. And from there, things get done faster. And I thought that she will be systematic, right? In a sense where everything will be neat and tidy. But for her, for Melissa, it's an organized mess in a sense that she knows where to find certain things. And she mentioned that, whichever that works better for you. So you don't have to exactly follow what Melissa does, but as long as it works for you and it can bring out that strength in you, that's all it matters. Yeah. So do you have any words of advice for maybe the audience who have the talent arranger?
I would say work things to your advantage, and my room is never clean. Even though remember I got OCD, not true, it's damn messy. Yeah, but I know exactly where I can find my things. Yeah, my brother is a lot cleaner than me. Yeah, neater. Yeah.
Neater.
Yeah, so he cannot stand the sight of my room lah. Yeah, so even though like person A and B both have a ranger, right? The way they organize their things actually can be quite unique.
Yes.
Yeah, so you can get ideas from people who also have arrangers, but you realize that I asked 5 people, maybe the 5 of them arranges their things differently.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can get idea, try and error yourself, see which one is the most comfortable for you. Yeah, and you can do minor observations like what kind of client are you to your own room? Yeah, then you can actually I very, very neat one. Like math must be classified here. Science, English, all those. Yeah, then you know that it definitely like folders, right, with like very distinct I call it major folder. So advisory is the major folder. Then the minor folder can be like, okay, cash flows, news articles, all those. So you exactly know where to dig your stuff. Yeah, and categorizing has to play to your advantage. Because news article can have like, many different kinds of news articles. So you break it further down. What kind of news article
Financial
for what age groups?
Yeah.
All those kind of things. Yeah, so that can be an actionable lah.
Yeah. So thanks for sharing. What I think I've learned today, mainly talking about futuristic and ranger, is that everyone at the end of the day got their own style.
Yeah.
Even for futuristic, some people like to draw like vision boards. They like to do certain things so that they can envision that future. They put something they can see every day.
Yeah.
So for Melissa, she does something visual for her clients. She helped them see what she's trying to see so that she can align. And for a ranger, I think biggest takeaway is a ranger does not necessarily mean that they are neat.
Yes.
They may or may not be. Yeah, depending on your style.
But I know where to find the things.
Yeah. So thanks for sharing with us ideas, and hopefully today the audience have some ideas that they can implement in their business. Okay, thank you, and see you in the next episode of Strengths Unlocked.
Yeah.
Bye bye.